So there is way more than a seller's market going on in South Florida. As soon as a home hits the MLS, there are multiple offers on that home within 2 days. Well, keep watching because I have 10 tips that's going to increase the odds of you getting your offer accepted. Hi, it's Lee Brickey again with the Brickey team and Keller Williams Reserve. And I'm here to give you 10 tips today that are going to help you increase your odds of getting your offer accepted when buying a home in South Florida. Now, the last 2 tips are pro investor tips, so you're going to want to watch to the very end to find out what those 2 tips are. So let's get into it. Tip number 1, get your offer in as soon as possible. Now, getting your offer in as soon as possible requires you seeing the property the minute it hits the market. So if you don't have a realtor that's on top of the market for you, sending you properties that fit your criteria the minute they hit the MLS, then you're going to be very frustrated. And if you're looking at Zillow, you're really going to be frustrated because it takes 24 hours from the time the property hits the MLS till the time it hits Zillow. And by then, there are multiple offers on that property already and you've missed out. You also cannot be waiting for the weekend or your day off. You have to see that property within 24 hours. Otherwise, it'll be under contract. So you might be asking, Lee, how do I get to the property if I'm working and I have no time to get there? Or you're out of state and you're working with an agent that's in South Florida. The best way is to have your agent go walk the house for you, take video, ask all the important questions, and then when you get off work that afternoon, you and your agent get on the phone, go over all of the video, all of the questions that you may have, so that you can make a decision if this property would be right for you or not. Then if you both agree that this is the right property, go ahead and write the offer up and put it in. Now, if you're worried about writing an offer and putting it in without seeing the home, don't forget you have an inspection period. So you're going to have time to get to the property and walk it while you're under the inspection period. You can get out of the contract for any reason while you're under the inspection period. And a little pro tip, ask for 3 to 5 days to put your escrow deposit down so that you have that time to check out the property and make sure that you love it before you even have to put your escrow in. This way you don't have to worry about getting your escrow back from the title company if you're not interested in purchasing this property. But if you don't get to that property within 24 hours, it's going to dramatically reduce your chances of getting your offer accepted and being able to buy that house. And in my opinion is, if the property hits in the morning, you need to see it that night. If the property hits at night, you need to see it the next morning. This increases your chances greatly of being the first one to put an offer in, and usually the first one is the one that the seller will take if it's a solid offer. Tip number 2, write a letter. This really works well when you're in multiple offer situations because sellers have an emotional tie to their homes. And if you love their home the way that they love their home, and you put that into a letter and send that along with the offer, you're going to appeal to that seller's emotions. And this can be a major factor in getting your offer accepted. I know this for a fact because we have done this many times with our clients, and in some cases, we've actually had our offer accepted over an offer that was for more money because the seller wanted to sell their home to someone that loved it as much as they do. Tip number 3, offer above list. If you offer above list on your first offer, the seller knows that you're serious about buying their home. And you can guarantee that there's going to be multiple offers. Those offers are going to be at list or above list. So you might as well come in with an above list offer. And they're sitting there looking at an offer that's over list and has a letter attached to it talking about how much you love their home. Now you might be saying, well, what if the house doesn't appraise? Well, since COVID, we have not seen a house not appraise because the market is growing so fast that by the time you sign that contract and the time the appraiser goes out to appraise the house has already gone up in equity. So appraisers are going ahead and appraising homes for whatever the contract price is, as long as it's within reason. Tip number 4, an appraisal waiver. Now this is a step beyond offering more than just over the list price. This is actually saying we will buy the home no matter what the appraisal is. So if the appraisal comes in a little short, you're telling the seller that you'll pay that extra amount that did not appraise. Now if you do an appraisal waiver, you have to be ready to pay that extra money just in case that appraisal does not come in. This is where, again, having a good realtor that knows the market and can give you comparable properties to show you that have sold in the last month within a mile of the area that you're buying in. This way you can make an educated decision if this is something that you would like to do. With that said, if you can afford to pay the extra money, an appraisal waiver goes a long ways in getting your offer accepted, because the seller knows now that their house is going to sell, and then they can go out and find their new home and not worrying about the deal on their home falling apart because it didn't appraise. Tip number 5, no seller concessions. Before COVID, we were getting pretty much 50% of all of our buyers seller concessions. But now with the market the way it is, it's not an option at all. Most homes are selling for over list price, so unfortunately, seller concessions just don't exist in South Florida anymore. And that's unfortunate because a lot of people were using those seller concessions to pay their closing costs. They had enough for the down payment, but they didn't have enough to cover the closing costs. Which brings me to tip number 6, buy as is. Sellers have so many offers behind yours, why would they fix anything? If you're the seller, why would you fix anything? You'll just take the next offer. The house is going to sell in this market no matter what, because we are in such a housing shortage. This also now creates a problem for FHA and VA buyers, because you cannot get a loan approval if certain things are wrong with the home, like say wood rot. In this case, after you do the inspection, if there are a few things here and there that need to be fixed before closing because you are FHA or VA, you can do an addendum that will credit the seller at the closing table. So what you want to do is have your agent bring this up to the seller's agent when the offer goes in, so that the seller's agent and the seller know that you're willing to repair anything that needs to be repaired because you are a VA or FHA buyer. Now, I'm only talking about small repairs here. If you get into a home and the roof needs to be replaced, then you should walk away from that deal. If it's only a few small things, then you can make that decision to whatever fits your budget. Now, for all of you VA buyers out there, we appreciate your service and we'll fight for you to the very, very end. But it's just an unfortunate situation right now because the market is so tight. So let's move on to tip number 7. Offer to close whenever it's best for the seller. Some sellers want to close really, really fast, so you could do a 30-day close. Other sellers, they need to go find a new home, so they might want to close in 60 or 90 days. Your agent needs to ask the seller's agent before they put the offer in, when is the best time for the seller to close? What is their preference? And put that in the offer. Tip number 8, a short inspection period. This will help you get your offer accepted because sellers don't want to take their house off the market too long for inspections, because like I said, they have multiple offers. So if you decide to walk away during the inspection period, they could go to one of the other offers that they had turned down and sell them their house. So here we are at tip number 9 and 10, the pro real estate investor tips that I promised you. These are great tips because This is what right now real estate investors are doing to buy property in this market without having to get in bidding wars and overpay for these properties. So tip number 9 for sell by owners. 98% of all the people that are walking through that for sale by owners home are either realtors, real estate investors, or people that want to underpay for their home. They're doing the same thing that the for sale by owner is doing, is they're only calling on for sale by owners because they think that they can get a better deal because there's no realtor involved. The problem with this thought pattern is that the seller's trying to get the maximum amount of money they can get and the buyer's trying to spend the minimum amount of money. So it never comes together. Usually the person showing the house is the owner. So if you think about it, especially right now with COVID, every time someone walks in their house and walks out, they're risking getting COVID. So what happens to for sale by owners is they eventually become so aggravated that they're willing to take the first real offer that shows up, or they're going to end up listing with a realtor on the MLS. So if you bring a real offer to a for sale by owner, they're going to accept it. And you're going to bypass having a multiple offer situation and having a highest and best. So tip number 10, which I believe right now is the best way to buy a home for not only buyers, but also real estate investors. Buy new. Buying a new home is by far in this market the best way to find a home that fits your criteria and your needs. And most builders are giving concessions for upgrades and closing costs. And the biggest thing is the home comes with warranties. So that's it. My 10 tips of making your life easier in buying a home in South Florida in this tight seller's market. I would love to know what you think about my 10 tips, so leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in Palm Beach County or the Treasure Coast, give me a call, send me a text, or send me an email. We'd love to help you. We have tools and technology to make buying and selling much easier for our clients. And we always love making a new friend. But if you're not quite ready yet to buy or sell, hit that link below for our unique website where you'll see all the information that realtors see, unlike other sites out there like Zillow that don't show you that the home's been put under contract. And if this is the first time you've been to my site, don't forget to slap that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our real estate tips and tours. And don't forget to watch our next video right there. I'll see you next time.